Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. Tonight we're going to talk about how to make silage, why you want to make silage, what is silage, and why it's in Farm Sim 17. And we're going to go about 18 different methods. Not really, but there's many different ways that you can get silage, and there's all kinds of different equipment you can use to get that silage. And we're going to kind of go over the basics, like from the easiest to the hardest. Things have changed from Farm Sim 15. In Farm Sim 15, I want to give you an example here. We took on my multiplayer farm 180,000 liters of silage on this Goldcrest map. We sold it. We're playing on hard. We sold it, all 180,000 liters, and we made about $45,000. Okay, now in Farming Sim 15, it would have been worth about $190,000. So there is a huge difference in what silage used to make versus what it makes now. But because you can make so much silage fairly easily, it's still a very valuable way to make money. However, silage takes a lot of effort to make it. There's many different ways to do it. Like I said, they all take lots of time and effort. So you kind of have to weigh, okay, maybe you should grow some regular crops, but then you can also make silage. Why is silage valuable? Well, we have a biogas plant on our map, and you can see here the McLean biogas plant up towards the upper part of the map there. And at the biogas plant, they have a bunch of silos where we dump our mowed grass and our chaff, and I'll show you how to make all this stuff. You let it get covered overnight, and then once it's covered, it turns into silage usually by the next morning, and you take that silage and dump it into their bin, and they pay you for it. So that's the most valuable application to silage, but it also has other applications. The pigs need it for their food. Your cows need it for the food. So you're going to have to make silage. Now, you could buy pig food and feed it to the pigs. That's an easy way around it, but pig food is expensive. So you're going to want to make the crops that the pigs are going to eat. But the cows are probably the best example. Cows need silage mixed in. They need that silage mixed in with their ration. So you're going to give them silage, hay, and then you can use filler. You can mix straw into that. So silage and hay is what the cows need to eat for a total mixed ration. But then you can also add straw into their diet, and that will give you manure, and it also fills it out a little bit so you're not using as much. It's filler, basically, like kind of how earthworms are in hot dogs, or so the rumor goes. So those are the two main applications. One, it's for feed for your animals, and two, it's for selling to the biogas plant. We're going to use the silos at the biogas plant, but the silos at the pig farm and the silos at the cow farm work exactly the same way. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to show you the first and least expensive method. All you need is a front mower, a tractor with about 130, 140 horsepower, probably even 150, because you got to run both of these at the same time. But any tractor that's over 100 horsepower can run this setup, pretty much. So if you get larger mowers and larger trailers, you're going to start having some issues. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to just mow a little bit, and I'll show you what to do with that. We'll try to fill this trailer up halfway. I'm going to come over here. Your best bet probably is to plant a field of grass rather than doing it this way necessarily, because this takes a while. You have to kind of go around and around, and let's go ahead and turn this on, and we're going to lower it. And I'm going to select my back unit, and we're going to also turn this on. So I'm collecting and mowing at the same time, and so I'm going to go ahead and start doing it. And it's pretty easy stuff. You'll see the trailer start filling up in the back. So this is one of the least expensive methods because you're already going to have tractors on your farm. The New Holland that comes with the base farm has enough horsepower to do this. So you're just going to have to buy a mower and a collection wagon. The downside is that this does not get you very much grass. You have to mow and mow and mow and mow and mow. You get my point. You have to keep mowing and mowing and mowing to get any kind of output. You can see here how long it's taking me just to, fill. Though it's not too bad, honestly. We're almost a quarter full, and I've only been running for a minute. So, but the other downside is with these new maps, they don't give you a lot of grassy spaces like they used to. So you're really going to be having to go along field edges and stuff. And if you get too close to a field that's not owned by you, you can't mow it. It will say this field is not owned by you, and you are stuck not being able to mow. You can see here some of the equipment that we can use for silage over there. I've bought a whole bunch of crap. How did I get $13 million? I cheated. I know how to edit the XML files, and this is only done for my test farm. We're on the test farm right now. Oh, and by the way, this is a mod map. If you noticed when I looked at the map screen, the layout is a little bit different on the farm. And so I'm trying this. This is called US Farm 02, I think is the number. And basically it's just Goldcrest, but then they changed the area right around the farm. It's a nice little map. I mean, I think they did a nice job. And he gives you a bunch of tractors to start with, which is nice. So we got about a quarter of a trailer. I want to fill it up all the way, but you can see just how long this is going to take to get very little material. Right now I'm carrying probably about maybe $600 worth of grass, maybe less, of silage after all the processing, and you're going to see what that entails too. So, oops, I guess I already did this section. I thought we had more to go, but all right. So I'm going to fill this up, and I'll catch up with you in just a second. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have filled, and I can turn this off. I got the mower running. We have filled up the trailer all the way. So now we're going to run down to the biogas plant, and I'm going to show you the first process. Now, one of the things people have been complaining about, because they haven't figured this out yet, a lot of people, they say, well, wait a minute, I can't dump grass into the silo. But that's not the truth. You actually can. You have to force dump it. So you can't just do the regular dump. You have to do the control. If you're a computer user, it's Control-I. I'm not sure what it is on the Xbox or PlayStation, but you can do it. So you have to force dump. And I'll show you how to do that. But it'll dump in there. And once it gets in there, it turns into chaff. So, yeah, we started on our farm doing this using this exact method. And like I said, we made about $40,000. Now, we're not doing it right now, but we are going to plant all of our fields. Once again, with this particular game, or with this particular map, there's not a lot of places to mow. So you can see here, all the green spots are actually mostly covered with trees. So you're going to really have to plant grass as a crop. And to be honest with you, in real life, usually farmers plant specialized grass for those fields. They don't just like go out and mow people's lawns. It's not lawn grass. They actually have different blends and mixes of grass that they use for hay. Including what we would call alfalfa here in the States, or lucerne. But they actually have specific grass that they grow for animal consumption and for silage production. So it's not unrealistic that you actually have to plant grass on your fields. That's what farmers really do. They have grass fields. And they seed it and they maintain it. So, you know, that is something that they've made in the game. One of the things that's changed that we'll go over in a little bit is you can no longer collect. Well, I'll hit that. I'll hit that later. And we'll talk about that when we get to the silage harvesters. But here we come up to the biogas plant on the right there. You can see those big cement structures. Those are the silos. That's where we're going to dump our chaff and our grass. What is chaff? Chaff is anything that's ground up, pretty much. Primarily farmers in real life use corn as a ground up substance, and we'll get to that in a little bit also. But corn is good because, hey, what's up, Mater? Very nice, buddy. He's making little building blocks. I like that, John. That's a spaceship, huh? That's my 4-year-old. For those of you that are new to my channel, I have 6 kids, and unfortunately am a single dad at this point. So we are busy, and the kids are always around me. So if you don't like it, sorry. Now here's a goof up with this map. You can see they changed levels, and those markers are screwed up. Now you can turn the markers on and off in your menu. So if you like this map, you can actually somewhere in here. There's a setting for that. I guess we probably don't need to get that on. Well, anyway, you can turn that off in here. I want to find it though. Interactive zone markers. We can turn that off. There we go. And if we go back, now you can see they're gone. Okay, so we're gonna pull into the bunker, and I recommend piling everything into one pile towards the end of the bunker, because when we get into actually getting the silage into the bunker, it's a very specialized thing, and you have to use a blade to flatten it out. And if we do this, it'll make it a lot easier for us to do that process. So we're going to dump everything right here. Now, here's what I was talking about. You're going to, instead of doing the regular dump, because you can see here, down by my cruise control, there's no dump symbol. So I can't just press the dump button. I actually have to do my specialized dump, which is Control-I, which is not working. Hold on a second. Control-I, right? Maybe not. Hang on, let me see my help menu. What is it? Oh, because I don't have the thing selected. Come on. There we go. So let's try this again. Now it's working. Okay, good. Like, wait a minute. We can pull forward a little bit. I don't want to go outside of the silo, which is doing a little bit, but we're forcing a dump right here. And so now we have the silage piled there. So we're going to go ahead and get this tractor off to the side, and we're going to show you the next method. There's a way... Actually, we need to take this tractor back. There's a way easier method. However, it costs more money, but I'm going to show you what you need to do the easiest way to make silage. So we will be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here's the next method. This is going to be a little bit of a test, too. I don't want to... In Farm Sim 15, you had to mow, ted, windrow, and then bale. In the new game, supposedly, you can just mow and bale. So we don't have to necessarily have a windrower or a tedder to do this. And in real life, if you're making silage bales, and that's what we're going to do, you don't need to windrow. You just mow it and put it on there. So let's go ahead and get this roller belt started up. And we're going to drop it. And then I'm going to pick my mower. I'm going to start that guy up. And I'm going to drop it. Whoops, not like that. No. No, no, no. Oops. Fail. Okay, so what this does is we're going to... You need... This is more expensive, but like I said, I feel like this is the easier method. You're just going to make bales by mowing grass. Now, straw bales will not work. Here's what I was talking about. It says you don't own this field if you get too close. Straw bales will not work. You have to use grass bales. If you use straw bales, you will not be able to wrap them. So this is part one of the things that we have to do, and this is why it's expensive. You got to buy a mower. That's about $12,000–$15,000. You're going to have to buy a baler. That's probably another $60,000, and it has to be a round baler. You can't use the square baler for this. So you're going to need the New Holland round baler. You can use the New Holland one or a mod one, either one. Let's see, I need to select that. And when we get done, we're going to have to dump it out. 88, 89. We just are going to do one bale today. So there we go. We have our bale, and I'm mowing extra by mistake, but that's okay. So we're gonna pop the bale out. Boop. Come on, pop it out. Hold on a second. They probably changed this command too, so hang on. All right, I figured out. It's button number 5 on my joystick. So I press the button, out pops the bale. So we can go ahead and close that back up, and I'm going to move ahead, and we're just going to park all this stuff here, so we don't need to get fancy. The mower we're going to drop. I want to drop the mower too. So we've made our bale, and now we're going to get the second part of the equipment, so I'll be right back. All right, so here's the last, well, one of the last pieces that you're going to need for this equipment, and this is a bale wrapper. What this does is this turns the bale of grass into silage, supposedly. Let's see if it actually works. I'm interested to find out if this works or not. If not, we have to do a whole bunch of more steps. Then it becomes, well, it's still cost-effective because time-wise, it's still a little bit easier and less expensive than buying a forage harvester. And we'll get to the forage harvesters next. Can you turn the volume down, Ryan? So we unfold this guy, and it's ready to go. And we just pick this up, and it'll automatically wrap the bale for you. In real life, I think a farmer does this, but it might be automatic. You might be able to do it from within the tractor. So there we go. So we have our wrap bale. So now, immediately, when you do this, this is silage. In real life, this wrapped bale would have to sit for some time before it becomes viable silage. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure how long it takes, but I would imagine it's a couple months, if not even maybe a year. So, and then we go ahead and we're going to dump this off somehow. Once again, it's probably Y. There we go. Yep, they've changed that. It used to be O, but now it's Y. So, and I'm going to go ahead and fold this guy up because we're done. And that's it. So there we have a silage bale. The last thing you're going to need to do is transport it. There's obviously several ways to do that. You can buy a trailer and get a front loader and load it onto the trailer. They also have in the store, and I did not buy one of these, but if we go to our bale handling menu, which is here, you have this collection wagon right here, this Ursus, but once again, now you're in $40,000 more. So it might be cheaper to just get a front loader and load it on using this bale trailer, but this is a nice, easy way to collect your grass bales or your wrapped bales. So what you have right now automatically is you have silage. There it is. No fermenting, no leveling, no extra steps, and really all the equipment you need except for the front loader is right here. So and the trailer to move it. So it tends to be the easiest method. Now I'm going to go ahead and pick this up and show you the sale. I'll be right back. All right, here's the last group of equipment that you're going to need for this method. Aside from the trailer, we're going to just hand carry it up there. But I have bale forks. You can use the wrap bale forks if you're real picky. I would recommend having a weight on the back of the tractor because this is going to make it, a little flippy. This needs to get knocked over, so we're going to knock the bale over so it's on its side. It's not supposed to come out like that, I don't think. Well, actually, you know what? No, the bale dropper does that because they want you to wrap it. I'm doing it the wrong way. Honestly, this is not the right tool. You're supposed to use these. This right here, the Stoll wrapped bale handler for wrapped bales. But I'm a jerk, and so I'm just going to knock it over and poke holes in it. All right. Come on, get it over. Lame. Who? Our neighbor? I don't know who that is. Nicole Timmock? Oh, okay. I don't really... Anyway, so then you're going to get the forks underneath. Yeah, you guys all know how to do this. This is not a tutorial on how to do baling, but then you can pick this up and lift it up. And there we go. There's our bale. Let's go ahead and run this up to the farm, and I'm going to show you where to sell it. Now, this is going to be on my farm, but on Goldcrest, it's in the red barn that's up the hill a little bit from the main farm building. On this map, they've moved that a little bit, so I'm sorry it's a little different, but it's as far up as it'll go. So I'll be right back. I'm going to run this up to the farm, and I'll show you where it's at. As I drove by this, I want you to see this. This is the cow farm on this map here. And you can see right here is the silage pen for the cows. So you can make, throw your grass or your chaff into here and make silage in this location also. And then it goes right into your cows. Or you can put it in the mixer wagon to feed your cows. And I can see way back in the distance there's a red barn. That is our destination. Reason why I recommend a weight on the back of the tractor is obviously as we go down these hills, it's going to make the front of the tractor super heavy. And we're going to be leaning quite a bit. So let's go ahead and get this in there, and you'll see why. Once again, it's much better to do a trailer and load a whole bunch on there because obviously if it were me and I was doing this method, I would plant this field right here, the closest field to the barn, I would plant with grass. This would all be grass here, and then I'd just take these bales right over to the barn and sell them. So here we go. This is our bale cell. I'm going to drive it in here, and it should just, get rid of. We're not going to get rid of. We're going to sell. And there it was, $980. That's not half bad. That really isn't too bad. So about $1,000 a bale. Now, it used to be about $4,000 a bale, which is just ridiculous because nobody on earth is going to pay $4,000 for a bale of silage. It's just not going to happen. But $900, that's not bad. So you can see there, that's a good way to make money. If you have 30 bales, that's $30,000. And this field could probably yield you $30,000 of bales. Maybe. We'll have to see. Well, we'll try it out on our farm, but I just wanted to show you that. So that's the second method to making silage. Very easy, but it does cost because you have to have about $200,000 of equipment to begin with, not including the tractor. So, but since you start with the New Holland tractor that you start with is plenty powerful enough to do what we just did. So you don't need to buy a tractor. You'll already have one on the farm that is capable of doing that method. Let's move along. Now we move into the more expensive method. What we have here is a Krone forage harvester. This Krone is right now, I have the mount. I have mounted on the chopper. I have this X-disc header. The X-disc header is used for what's called whole cropping. You'll use this to chop up wheat, barley. In this case, we're going to do soybeans, canola. This will chop up pretty much anything. It'll also mow grass. So you can go along here and mow the grass. However, when you do grass, it's just going to give you mowed grass. Same difference, but it doesn't give you much. But when you do these, it's going to give you chaff, okay? There are two other headers that we're also going to take a look at from the Krone, and they each do a little bit different stuff, but the end result is all chaff. Now, the nice thing about the Big X is that you can pull this is a chaff wagon. This is a wagon designed specifically for carrying chaff products and grass and stuff like that. So this is nice because we can pull this now with this. In the last version of the game, you couldn't do this, but in this version, we can. Now, we still have a bit of an issue in that there's no power takeoff. So if you want to be realistic about it, when you take this to dump at the silage or the biogas plant or whatever you're doing, you probably are going to want to have a tractor to pull this, and we'll probably just grab a tractor from the store real quick and do that. But you can see that power takeoff there. You'll need that to operate this. Inside there's a mechanism that pushes. You can see the floor there, maybe. The floor moves, and this mechanism is what drives that floor, so it pushes the chaff out into the bin. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of hole cropping here so you can get an idea of how that works. I'm going to start the Krone up. I'm going to unfold the top of the wagon that I have on the back. And there we go, so that's all set. You can see down in there, this is going to just fill this up with chaff. The next thing we need to do is unfold the pipe on the Krone. Let's get the pipe out. I don't know which one it's going to be. Is it this one? There we go. Okay, good. And it automatically finds it. You can see there it's aiming at it. Turn our little beacons on so people know we're working. And we're going to head and power this bad boy up somehow. There we go. So, jump in the cab for the in-the-cab view, and all we're doing basically is mowing this stuff. The nice thing about the Krone is that it goes at a pretty high rate of speed, so we're at 15 miles per hour as we're chopping down this harvest. Seems like a waste. You can see in the back there how far we've gone. We've only gotten 400. Now, soybean is not very dense. I would recommend, if you're going to use this to do hole cropping, I would recommend wheat or barley as the type of crop that you're going to hole crop, because you're going to get a lot more production from that. You can see here we're barely getting anything from this crop, so it's kind of useless. So don't use soybeans and wheat or barley. But this is the same difference. I'm just trying to show you this so you can see what it looks like. And we're not getting much chaff, so we're going to move over to corn in a minute. Now, the reason why corn is more desirable than, let's say, wheat or barley is because it generates so much more stuff, and we'll get there. And plus, corn, from what I understand, is pretty high in sugar. Sugar is what you need for the fermentation process. So if you want good silage, you actually want to have something that's high in sugar. So grass, or in this case, corn. See here, we're struggling getting around the corner here. That's one of the things about using this big trailer. You can also attach tippers to this. That makes it a little easier on the unit itself. But I do like being able to pull. In real life, they use chaff wagons like this to hole crop, so they don't use tippers. So that gives you an idea what this looks like. Pretty easy stuff. And you basically just mow down the crop. Unfortunately, you don't get any crop from this, so doing this will destroy your crop, but that's the idea. You can see here, we're not even really getting anything on this pass. I wonder why that is. What happened? Let me see here. Hop out to the outside. Why is this not filling up? Did we find a bug? This might be a bug. Let me pipe down and pipe back up again. There we go. Let's see, is it going to blow out chaff? That's kind of buggy. It's not blowing it out anymore. What? Okay, we just found our first bug. This is supposed to be filling the trailer, but it's not. Why? Let's shut the unit off. And we're going to detach the trailer. And I'm going to hop out. And I'm going to hop back in. See if we can reset this thing. Turn it back on. Hitch the trailer. And let's see, if we turn, the pipe should follow the trailer. Nope, it's not at all. Weird. That's really bizarre. Wow, that sucks. Okay, well, let's see if that happens again. I'm going to pick a regular tipper. See if something that's a little more easy for this thing to pull. So let's go to the store and grab a tipper. Interesting. I'm glad we found this bug, but it's not really appropriate for my video. What are you going to do? I know for sure it likes these smaller tippers. So we'll try one of these. Select that. Buy it. All right, so here we go. Let's just try a normal old tipper. See if that works better. Or if the unit's actually locked up itself. Wow, it's not seeing the tipper. Interesting. So something happened to the crone. Maybe if I uncover this, will that change it? Oh yeah, there it goes. Okay, so it found the tipper. I don't uncover it. Let's go ahead and continue whole cropping a little bit. We need some more chaff. We're low. Oh, you know what I wonder? I wonder if it's because I kept mowing over the grass, and it probably screwed it up. Let's see. I didn't have enough material in there. I bet you it turned it to grass. Oh, that stinks. Let me see real quick here. I bet you that's what happened. Because it only had 2,000 liters in there, it turned it, I think, to grass instead of chaff. Let's see what the chaff looks like while we're mowing. All right, so we're going to select this guy, and we're going to turn it on. Oh, yeah, see, I just grabbed grass. And then you can't mix it. So what's going to happen is I can't use this tipper either. Oh, that stinks. No, there we go. Okay, so now there's chaff. So that's what happened. Our tipper turned over to grass because I ran into the grass with the header running. So, oops. Well, there's a lesson for you guys. Make sure you have over 2,000 in there before you hit grass. It shouldn't do that. It really should be able to switch back and forth, but that's a interesting bug. Or I guess it's not really a bug. So what you're going to have to do while you're mowing, if you want to be careful and not have that happen, make sure you have the header selected. When you get down near the end of the field, you're going to pull the header up. That'll prevent that from happening. So that'll only happen with this header, by the way. With the corn header, you don't have to worry about it because the corn header only harvests corn. So what am I talking about? You'll see in just a minute here. Now you can see here I'm getting more out of the crop, but still not very good. I mean, really, 2,000 from a whole row, that's nothing. So this is a painful crop to use. This is the wrong crop for this. So you're going to pull the header up like that so you don't get any grass and come back around until, I'd say when you get probably about 20% full, it probably won't switch back, but you got to be careful. So right now it's a chaff. Well, that's a bummer. We screwed it up. I would say this tipper is probably a little bit better sized for this crone, though. And you can attach a second tipper. So you can actually pull two of these, and the crone will fill both of those tippers up as you operate. So you can carry quite a bit of capacity. I know I'm not doing a nice job mowing, but I'm just trying to get the job done so you can see what it looks like. All right, so when we get to the end of the field, we're going to switch over to the other field, and I'm going to show you what it's like to chop corn and why we use corn. You'll see how much faster this thing fills up when we're using corn. So that trailer over there is fine. Once again, I feel like it's a little bit big for this. You should be able to hire workers to do all of this also. So if you want to hire a worker and send them out there with the, you can run alongside them with a tractor and a tipper, which is more prototypical. Usually, they do occasionally, but usually foragers don't. Let's see what happens. If I go over the grass, is it going to screw it up? No. Now it's not mowing the grass. See that? So the grass is getting mowed, but it's not going into the collection tank. So you have to get over 2,000, it looks like, to make this work. So there you go. There's a little hint for you. Be careful not to hit the grass until you got some more stuff in the trailer. Otherwise, it'll turn into grass. So there's that. So let's go ahead and shut this header off. We're going to just drop it. There we go. And I'm going to run across here. We have a cornfield across the way that we can play with. And so we're going to go do that. So that was an example of whole cropping. And once again, corn, we're also what's called whole cropping. You're basically eating the whole crop up. There's no produce, once again. Oh, I got to get the header. I'll be right back. All right, folks, so we've picked up our corn header. I'm going to select it, and I'm going to unfold it. There we go. And we're going to select the harvester, and we're going to turn it on. So it lowers the header. Once again, you can go back, and in real life, you wouldn't be running the header low unless you were actually in the corn. So we can go ahead and I would select this unit like so, and then be able to, you can have it set to raise and lower. So when you're at the end of the field, you'd raise it and then turn around and get in the crops and lower it again. So we're going to go do this real quick here. We're going to do this first. And then I'm going to come back and we're going to let... we're going to show you a hired worker, a more prototypical operation, so you can see how that works. What the heck? What? Well, why not? It should be on. I was using it the other day. Huh. If you go into the folders, does it show up? Oh, don't know. All right, so there we go. We got 47% full here, and we're going to go ahead and grab a tractor so I can show you what actual prototypical operation is. Now, you wouldn't be using, if you're doing prototypical, you wouldn't be using this trailer. You'd be using, once again, one of any of these. This is a chaff trailer right here. This carries all kinds of stuff. This is specifically a chaff trailer. The IT Runner also has a Bergman version. That's also a chaff trailer. And I think that, I think the Homer variant has one too. I'm not sure where the Homer, if it comes in with, I don't think it shows up here, but no, it doesn't. Okay, so I don't know where that is, but I thought the Homer had one too. But you'd be using a chaff trailer in real life, but we're going to, because we have started this one already, we're just going to use this. So I'm going to go ahead and select the trailer, and we're going to detach it. And I'm going to move around here, and I'm going to hire a worker. Something I don't normally do, but if you want to be prototypical about it, this is really what goes on. So move up here, and then you press hire worker, and it's going to stop until a trailer arrives. So hire the worker. He's hired. He's just going to sit there. See that? He's in there waiting. So let's go grab a tractor, and I'll be right back. All right, so we have a Fendt tractor here that we're going to attach here, and we're going to grab this. Come on. What? Yes, I am. Let's see here. We're going to pull this around. And we should. Yep, there it goes. It's picking it up. And so we're going to run alongside. It goes, like I said, about 15 or maybe 10. Maybe 10. But I'm doing it manually right now, so. You can see here, we're just going to fill up the rest of the way, and then we're going to take this down to the plant, and I'll show you the rest of the maintenance or things that you have to do to get the chaff fermented so that we have silage. We're also going to stop back up at the shop. There's a couple more things I want to show you before we call this quits, but you can see here this is filling up nicely now, and this is really prototypically, like I said, sometimes forage harvesters do run with trailers on the back. I've seen it done before. It's not something that they do a lot, but they do it occasionally. But more often than not, they have 2 or 3 tractors that have tippers, or the silage trailers or chaff trailers, and those chaff trailers run alongside, and you'll see the guy running right alongside of them and collecting the product. And I think this stuff is all GPS enabled, so really the driver only has to control the arm. He kind of sits there and watches the arm and makes sure that the chaff is flowing into the trailer as it is right now. And as the tractor gets faster or slower, he moves the arm to make sure it's... And they also move it back and forth to keep the trailer evenly filled. Now in this case in the game, it just self-levels. So we're almost full up. We'll do one more pass, and then we're going to get out of here. So once this trailer gets full, he'll stop running. But this is, once again, prototypical. And so I like to run it this way. Though the trailer and the tractor we're using, these are too small. This tractor is really small for the chaff to tipper. That's why, since we're not using that, it's too bad my tutorial got screwed up. It's okay, though. You can do this. And it's, I don't want to say it's not prototypical, but... All right, there's a cover, and we're going to run down to the silage plant. So I will be right back. It's going to take me a little while to get up there, but we're going to go do it right now. All right, ladies and gents, we are on final approach here to the silage utility, or to the biogas plant silage utility. Making stuff up here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to get in there just like we did with the lawn tipper. And we're going to dump our chaff right here. This time we will not have to make a special Control-I dump here force. This will just dump here because this is meant to accept chaff. It's not silage, it's chaff right now. The green stuff is chaff, the brown stuff is silage. All right, there we go. Maybe not. Let's see if I can get it in here. Nope. Okay, I'm going to have to come around from the other side because I... Man, this tractor does not have the horsepower to pull this full trailer. Holy cow. It's kind of funny because it looks like a little tipper, but it's heavy. All right, so I'm going to back this down. So it's a little bit different in this game than it was in the last one. It's definitely not as easy as it was, but it also has the same methods to collecting. And we're going to go over in a minute the last one way to get silage that I can think of. Like I said, there may be more. This game is really good at like doing 15 different ways to do the same thing. So the ways that I'm aware of. Nope, this is not giving me a dump symbol. So I'm just going to go ahead and force dump right here, right now. And if we look at our menu, it's showing that we have the fill level is at 30,000. So right now we're looking at probably about $5,000 or $6,000 worth of silage when we're all said and done. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to show you the last two methods. We're going to pull this guy out of the way. And we'll get into actually making the silage then once we're done. So we have the chaff dumped and the grass dumped into our bin. And let's hop over to the shop. Okay, so this is the last piece of the forage harvesting equipment. Okay, and that would be directly related to the Krone harvesters, though Rosslamash and New Holland also have their variants of this header. If we look in the store, just real quick, we'll take a look. You have the 300 FP and the 4-up 370. 4-up. I love that. So, this header used to, and this is a big change now in 2017, making life a little bit more difficult. The Easy Flow header in the game was able to pick up straw. So if you had wheat or barley, you could leave a straw swath on with your harvester, and you could follow behind the harvester with your forage harvester and get free chaff. That no longer works. They've made this device more prototypical. In real life, what farmers do is they mow their grass, and then they use this device to pick up that mowed grass. So instead of using the X disc, which doesn't give you much, this will get you a little bit more content. The Easy Flow improves the amount of chaff you get out of grass. So you're going to mow it, you're going to row it, windrow it, and then you're going to come back with this guy and you're going to collect it. And it turns it into chaff, and then you do just what we did with the corn or with the whole crop. You're going to take it down to the biogas plant or to your animal farms, and you're going to dump it into the bin. Same end result, but this makes chaff out of grass. Okay, the mower, that X-disc unit that we started with where we screwed up and got the wrong thing in, that makes, if you mow the grass with that, it just makes grass, which gives you less yield. If you mow windrow and then with another, like a regular mower, now you don't use the Krone to do it because it's going to use it up, but if you use a regular mower, like the Pottinger set, and then come back with a windrower and make it a row, and then use this to collect it, you're going to get more material because this is going to take it and turn it into chaff, which will give you more volume. It just does a better job with it than the direct grass does. So this is another way to collect chaff. But I wanted to point that out. I don't know that I would even really bother with it because, I mean, you're better off always just growing corn. What's up, Goose? Corn's the best thing that you can do because it's going to give you the most volume for your input. But, you know, we don't all have the money to plant the corn and do that stuff. So if you're going to rent one of these harvesters, you're going to want to get, you know, this might be one of the ways that you're going to do it is by collecting. You're going to mow grass, windrow the grass, and then collect it with the Easy Flow. So that's just another option for you. Last but not least, with the foraging devices, I wanted to show you this, though it's not necessarily completely related. New Holland has this chop unit. What this is for poplars. You'll notice in the game that you get these pallets of poplar saplings, poplar saplings, You have to use the tree planter to plant these. You plant them on a field, and they'll grow up and make a nice row. Then you run down the row with this guy, and you chop that up using this forage harvester, and it makes wood chips. So that's not silage based, but it's a thing that you can do with the forage harvester. So I just thought I'd share that tip with you. All right, so on to the next part of our video. So here's the last part of the creation of this. Well, yeah, last part of the creation of the silage. You're going to need what's called a leveler. They're in the store under levelers. It's pretty easy. I would also recommend a Valtra. Why? Well, because the Valtra has one special thing that the other ones don't. And that's going to be this. You got to select the tractor, and then you press Control B. Oh, look at that. The seat reverses, and now you get back in, and you can drive backwards. Because leveling is kind of a pain in the butt. It really is. This is not easy to do, and I've a lot of people complaining and just quitting and giving up. The trick is to get the right height. So you adjust your plow. You got to select it again. I'm sorry, I didn't select it. You have to make sure it's selected. You can raise and lower this, and it seems like right about there seems to be the right height. And what you're going to do is you're going to drive this forward real slow, like about a mile an hour or two. You can set your cruise control, and you're going to try to get this flat. But the problem is I missed a spot, so I'm going to have to go back here, and I'm going to go this way. And you want to just try to get it all flattened out. There we go. It's nice and flat now. And we're just going to run down the middle real slow. You don't want the tractor wheels to go up, just nice and slow. We're starting to have some issues. It's not at the right height. You can tell you're not getting the right height when you start dipping and stuff. When you start getting these dips and bumps, you're not getting the right height. So I'll go back and start over again. This time I'm going to put it maybe a little bit higher. Let's try that and see if that works. So this is a real pain in the butt. You might be able to goose it a little bit and try to keep it going, but right now it's not working right. But it's close. Alright, so we're going to go forward again. I'm going to lower this a little bit and try again. There you go, it's trying to drag it out a little bit. And once again, speed is important. You don't want to go too fast. But like I said, using this guy, using the Valtra is a little bit easier because you can run it backwards. Now, you can put this on the front of some of the tractors, but you can see how nicely this is going out. It's like spreading butter on toast. Yeah. It's making me hungry thinking about it. All right, there we go. So it's all spread out. And the other thing that you need to do then is you need to come over here, and you want to get the edges now, so you're going to keep going. You have to keep going, and it takes a long time to do this. Especially the more material you have, the more it takes, and you're going to have to start, you know, I personally would wait until you have the thing filled up as much as you possibly can fill it and then start doing this, but there are people out there that are able to actually get layers of this. I don't know how you would do it, but I've seen people do it where they actually add like second and third layers to the pile, and that's pretty crazy. So I'm not that good yet. But this is how you level this stuff out. And this actually will compact it pretty well. You can see there we're at 8% compaction. You just keep leveling it. But it makes you run over the product over and over again. So there we go. We're getting it pushed out. And you can see here it's going to fill up the whole bin. But if we're at the right height, it really helps it. So, and then when you go backward, oops, sorry. So now my brain is reversed because I'm thinking that's the front of the tractor, and it's not. We need to look this way. 10% compaction, and it's compacting because we're running over it. So I mean, it's not necessarily because we're getting it leveled right, but I have found a lot of times it takes me so long to get the leveling done that it's actually all compacted when I'm done. So now I try to complete my tutorials without using any mods. I'm sure there's going to be mods coming out to kind of change how this works a little bit, and some of these other things that happen, and you know, there's always mods that kind of change things a little bit, but this is how the game wants to handle it. So I keep getting the shovel stuck on the wall, or the leveler. And it's not perfectly level either. Like you see here, I still have a little bit of issue going on here. But the big problem is if you get the piles too high, you won't be able to drive a tractor over it, and you'll get stuck. So you really have to level stuff as you're doing it. I want to get rid of this menu right now. But you can see here, this is nice and level, and we can add more stuff to it if we need to. There's access for the vehicles to get over the top of it. And so there we go. And this is pushing it out here. You can see it's spreading out a little bit, and I think that's good. So we have it leveled. That's going to be our deal, and then you're going to drive over it until it's compacted. So we're going to keep driving it, and I'm going to also, since this is a pain in the butt, I'm going to fold this up, and we're just going to keep running back and forth over this. And what this does is this compacts it down. You can watch on the info screen. Obviously, the more material you have, the longer it's going to take to compress it. And you might want to consider getting a larger tractor to do that. This is a pretty small tractor. The more weight you put on it, the faster it compacts. So you can see here it's at 24%. So I'm going to go ahead and compact this, and I'll catch up with you once I'm done. All right, folks, so we're almost done compacting this silo, and you can see here it's at 92%. As I run back and forth over it, snore, it does get better. However, the more you put in, the longer this takes. It didn't take too long for me to do this, maybe about 5 minutes. If you're dealing with a full-up silo, you're probably talking about 2 hours of driving back and forth, unless you have a really big piece of equipment. So like a Challenger would be a good option, one of the big Challenger tractors. We are at 100%. You'll notice now we're gonna drive off, and I'm gonna walk over here on foot, and you're gonna see here it says R to blanket silo. There you go. So there's a blanket now covering our silo. We missed a little bit of grass on the end, or a little bit of chaff on the end, but that's okay. So now we just have to wait for the passage of time. While we're doing that, I'm gonna speed time up. Wrong button. And we're gonna do this. Okay, good. I'm gonna turn that menu off, and we're gonna pull this tractor over here and just park it because we don't need it. Shut it off. Boom. So this is a cool tractor. Like I said, you don't have to use the Valtra. You can use any tractor. But I like it because you can flip the cab around. And I know that on our map, Mason's been using it and really doing well with it. So now you're going to need 2 things. In order to unblanket the silo, you're going to need a front loader. It can be a tractor front loader. It can be one of those little JCB skid steers. It can be any kind of front loader that you have, up to the big one. Because once this goes ready to serve, you have to have a front loader to rip this cover off. So I don't think you can do it without the front loader. So you're going to have some sort of front loader, and then you can use the leveler to pile it back up again, and you'll see me do that. But let's go ahead and grab our front loader, and I'm going to do this. We just tab our way through. We have a big front loader. There it is. And we have a shovel. So let's go ahead and get this guy up, and letting some time pass, we're going to run this down to the silage plant. You're going to let the little beacons go. This would also be a good piece of equipment to use for the squishing of the silage. Is this backwards? I feel like I want this to be up and this to be down. I don't know why that's reversed. So anyway, we'll be back in a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, all right, it's time to get the silage out. Start this guy up. So the first thing we need to do is uncover it, obviously. Obviously. We need to uncover it. It's not working. Because I picked up some freaking chaff. So it's screwed everything up. To dump some chaff next door. It's not what I wanted to happen. This is not going the way I wanted it to. Alright, so dump that out. Good. Come back again from this side, so we're a little bit more on this side. So we should be able to theoretically to... this thing is backwards. It's making me crazy. You can tell I'm having a hard time getting the front loader to do what I want it to do. It's not coming off. Maybe we have to unblanket it. Let me see. Hang on. Maybe you have to start. I think you might have to roll it up first R, open silo. There we go. So R. There we go. Okay, that's what we have to do. So you have to R it first. Once again, in my defense, B-Dog did it on my farm. There we go. So now it's, you can see this is starting to rip that layer off. You just have to basically run over it. I mean, it's not like any rocket science. But it stopped right there. Interesting. There we go. It kind of just does random stuff. You have to kind of roll back and forth and do it. So we're getting it all exposed. It's so weird how it works. The blanketing procedure. Like, there we go. So now it's going to be all off. There we go. It's all off. And then we can just, we got a big scoop. I'm going to show you how to do this. So we're going to run over here. One of the ways to empty the silo is to do exactly what we're doing. You just take a shovel and scrape it out. Keep getting shovel loads. And dump it into the Silo King. The nice thing about this version of the game is you're no longer limited to 20,000. You can put as much in here as you want. It'll just take all of it and grind it up. So that's kind of cool. We just made $1,000 with that 3,000 liters. So you can see it's about 400 per scoop. So it's not horrible. Like I said, it's not as bad as people are saying it is. But once again, it's not a ton of money either. But you can still make some money. We don't have very much in there, but the next method would be to do this. And obviously, this is going to take a little time. These things I'm not real. Let's see. X folds the belt. Okay. Enter starts the engine. And it moves really slow. And unfortunately, we have some grass there. I want to get around that, or chaff. And you can raise and lower the hitch. Kyle likes to hitch them together. B-Dog doesn't. I'm not sure what the best method is, but here, okay, there we go. We're starting to get stuff on there. And as long as we park it here, it should unload the entire bin. So we're going to hop out. Now we're going to grab our midsection. We could probably even get away with not using this part, but I want to see how it works. So we're going to start this guy up and run it over. It's so slow. Let's see. Unload here. Activate cruise control. Oh, yeah, you can extend this out.
Oh, baby.
And we're going to park this right in here. And that should start dumping on this any second now, I think. There we go. So there's part 2, and you can see it fill up. And it just stops. It'll stop when it gets... Oh, dang it. I didn't mean to move it. I think we're okay. I'm just going to leave it like that. You don't have to connect them, so... And then last but not least, I'm going to start this up. So we can raise this. We can also extend it out. Now, you don't have to do that, though. And then once you're in place, you can actually lock it into place. Change angle 5 degrees. Hire worker. I don't know what all that does. But anyway. Hey, no screaming. Meters. Screaming. Oops, that's not what I want to do. I want to go backwards. It's weird because the front feels like the back. Okay, on this one we need to get into this guy here and raise it a little bit. And I don't know how to make it go up or down. Nope, I'm in the wrong one. So we're going to get in this. There we go. That'll raise it. Okay. And we're going to get in this one. No, dang it. Come on, get in the right one. There we go. Okay. This is going to move forward. John, please stop yelling. You can see right there we picked it up, but it's not aiming in the right spot. So we can fill this up, but I don't want to do that. I want to actually get this in position. It's so weird because it feels backwards. Okay. Okay, go forwards. There we go. Oh, come on. There we go. Now that should way overshoot it. It's probably not going to go in. Nope. So now we need to shorten this down. How did I do that? There we go. There we go. And there it is loading in. So we have our conveyor belt system set up. And we can hop out and just let it do its work. Now, As the bin empties out, if we have more stuff in there and it runs out, like it might run out here. No, it's still pulling. It just sucks it out. Look at that. So we don't have to really do anything. If you want to get realistic about it, you can take the leveler and shove all that stuff down. The only problem is once we're done, it doesn't seem to empty the silo out. That's a bug that we found. Easy there, John. But maybe if we do it this way, it'll empty it out all the way, and then we'll have solved our problem. But you can see right there, we're dribbling money in here. So we'll just hang out here while this is done filling that up. And so that's how you can use the conveyor belt system. You can use multiples of those middle conveyors. So you can just keep adding more and more if you don't want to get all the way to the other end. So this is a pretty cool way to do it. Yeah, it's emptying it out nicely. Look at that. So this might eliminate that issue that we were having with the silo, because it looks like it really is sucking everything out of the silo to the last drop. Uh-oh. Nope, it just finished up and it's not done. So, this point then, and this is where we have the issue. I suppose you could take this. Let's see how this works. I want to. This might work better actually. We could take this down and get it more into the biogas thing, or more into the silo. Further in, and then we're going to extend this guy out all the way. Which is what? Which one's extend? Ooh, that's cool. You can do all kinds of pivots. So we can get that in there. And we're going to shove this down. This all sounds so violent. Empty that way. There we go. We're in position. And last but not least, we'll grab this fella. And now this thing also has the ability to change the controls of the wheels on the front. So you can get it in here and then pivot it directly. So I don't know if it's this. Is that it? I don't know what the change angle does. 550 Y. Change angle 5. Exit vehicle, stop engine, change cruise control speed. Is it control? There's another control that we're missing. It's not showing us. What is fold belt? Ah, there we go. Why would it say fold and unfold? But okay. That changes the wheels. And so now we can, let's see, how does this work? Okay, forward makes this go right and left. So we can swing this around and extend that out. Now it's still going into the bin, but it looks like it's dumping all over the ground. But there we go. So now we're unloading more. But you can see how this works nicely. And like I said, if worse comes to worse, you can always use your leveler to push it down. But this seems to be doing a better job emptying the silo out. I'm hoping that this will get the whole thing. So let's just watch it and see what happens. It looks like it's sucking away from all of it. I don't know how realistic that is, but it's working nicely. My guys will be glad to see that this is how it works. So you don't need. Now Kyle likes to connect them all together, but you don't need to. You don't have to latch these together. You can just run them like this. In real life, I'm not sure how that works, but that's good news. So for all of you that are having issues with your silos getting emptied, you have to do it this way, it looks like. And once you use the leveler to try to empty it, it screws it up and you'll never get them empty. You actually have to go into the XML file and edit it. Because what's happening is the leveler is pushing it into neighboring... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So we might have to go down a little further. There we go. Uh-oh. This is not looking good. So there's definitely a range on this thing. So we might need to add a second extender in there. But there's $4,000. So, you know, we're making some money doing this. It's not a ton of money, but it's money. But the downside is, obviously, you have to have all this equipment. So if you don't have this stuff, you know, you're kind of poop out of luck. Let's see. That gets us in there. And we're going to unfold this. So we're going to say unfold belt X. There we go. And now we're going to run backwards here. Get this done to here. Kind of missed. Go back. Okay. And then we're going to fold this X. And we're going to let that shift over there. And we're going to start moving this over. Now, I don't know if this is going to be long enough. This may not be long enough. At some point, like I said, you may have to get... Nope, it's got it. You will need some extenders if you're going to do the whole silage bin like this, though. But there you go. And that looks to me like it emptied the whole thing out. So we have... Nope, see, there's still 2,000 sitting in here. And if we probe forward, it's not finding anymore. That's not good. But it could be that little pile right there. So let's see if that's it. 2698. 2650. Nope, unfortunately, we still have the same issue with the silage being hidden from us and gone somewhere magically. It's probably in here, like in the wall somewhere, because this one shows that it's got compaction on it. So there's an issue where it's going through the walls. I don't know how they're going to fix that. They're going to have to patch it, though, because obviously people that are on the PS4, once you use a silo once, you can't use it again. Now, there is a tool that I wanted to show you that came out that's a mod. Unfortunately, I can't link it because the site has viruses on it. I have a bunch of blockers and stuff that I was able to get it, but it kind of sucks. And I have to find it. Hold on here. I think it's under Forge. Is it here? Nope. I got to find it, so hold on. Okay, it was under Miscellaneous, and they charge you $0 for it. It's basically the same thing as this reset roller, but it resets further out, so it'll reset the bunkers to 0. So you can download this, look up Silage Bunker Cleaner online. Hopefully it'll become an official mod, but this is how you can clean that. You can use that to clean it out. And, you know, like I said, I can't link it because it had viruses on it. I don't want to be responsible for that, but that's what you're going to look up is Silage Bunker Cleaner, and just be aware you may get a virus if you look it up. But it's on modhub.us. So you can get it from there. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this and found it useful. That's pretty much all the different things that you can do with the silage. You can see it made, you know, we made about $10,000 from that little pile, which isn't so bad. So, you know, it's pretty cool. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and that it was helpful to you. Have a great night, guys. If you want to support the channel, you can click the support button. Other ways you can support, you can definitely do subscribing. That's a big help. And then also thumbs up are a big help also. But the biggest thing is to be subscribed. And like I said, if you want to support us financially, you can also do the support button. That helps me buy new games for people. I do a lot of giveaways on the channel. And it also helps me keep the cost of my internet. You got to remember, I'm uploading tons of videos every month. We're looking probably at about, my last bill for internet was $300 some odd. So it's extremely expensive for me to be able to do this, but your donations and stuff have kept this channel going. So anyway, have a great night, guys, and I will see you on the farm.